another issue that we dealt with a lot was water emergencies in the ocean and the bay. And one call that I have never, ever forgotten about is it was a beautiful day just before the lifeguards come on duty. The water was flat, not a cloud in the sky, light breeze, wind from the north, so the ocean was flat. And we get a call for a missing swimmer. So I drive up there, I get there first, and I'm looking out, and I'm like, no way. I said, there's no way. There's as flat as this table, the ocean. I couldn't believe it. Clear, blue, as far as you could see New Jersey. So I run down to the water line, and I see a lady in the water screaming. So like Austin, I strip off my uniform, I jump in with my I had boxers on at the time, so it was cool. And so I go out to this lady and I'm like, what are you doing? I can't find her. I can't find her. I go, who? One of my students.
Whoa.
So this lady was a teacher in New York City. She had an unauthorized trip to the beach with her class from Harlem.
I remember this.
They took the subways, they took the railroad, walked down to the beach because they did something really good in class. So she wanted to reward them. And it's like she's telling me we're this close talking. I'm not believing her. I'm not believing her. There's no way somebody is drowning here.
Right.
There's no way. So I get back to the ocean, back to land. I get on my radio, confirming it, and so we ended up getting tons and tons of resources. Like Town of Hempstead sent lifeguards down. Long Beach had lifeguards down. They have everyone's joining arms.
NYPD helicopter.
We never put divers in the ocean because, with the waves and everything, but it was so flat. We put divers in. We had I called everybody that I could think of, everybody. And we found her about 45 minutes later. And I literally broke down because this little girl, she did good in school. She was being rewarded for a trip.
She was 12. She was 12, by the way, right? I think 12
Nicole Suriel. I will never forget her. I will never forget that name as long as I live. And I talk about her a lot. I talk about my friends that died on 9/11. I talk about, funny job stories. I tell the story about this little girl because it was so unnecessary. Like in Long Beach, we were on a barrier island. In second grade, you have to take swimming in schools. You have to.
Right.
Because no matter what you do, no matter what you teach your kids, they're going to go to a beach party one night and they're going to go in the ocean. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
We did it. Everyone's going to do it.
Sure.
But this poor little girl who was led with such bad decisions by these teachers and the administrators and, and it just, that call. I mean, there was no fire. There was no car accident. There was no extrication. There was no blood and guts. It was just the innocence.
The call that sticks with you.
It's just, we've all seen the blood and guts. We've all seen the burned bodies. We've seen, but just, it was so unfair, that call.
Yeah.
It was so unfair. And
I remember them finding her, bringing her out of the ocean. And I was the first EMT that was standing next to the lifeguard truck. And just where I happened to be standing and where they happened to find her. And she was really close to shore, which is what I also remember, because the lifeguards originally had gone all the way out, and they were, like Rich was saying, they were searching for so long. We thought that she was taken out. We knew she would be by the rocks somewhere. That's typically where the bodies end up, but she was maybe like 15 feet, not even from the shoreline.
And more towards the middle.
Yeah,
that's
the whole situation was just weird.
Oh.
And I remember they found her, and I remember it was actually Town of Hempstead lifeguard that found her. Their feet ended up kicking her body. They bring her up out of the water, and she was pale white, like just white as a ghost.
And I remember, like when I was in the water before everybody got there, as I was diving, I was saying, "Please let me find her, but please, I don't want to touch anything."
Yeah,
it was just.
They pull her out, right, and they're bringing her towards me. I thought they were bringing her actually to me. I didn't realize I was standing behind the lifeguard truck. So I'm like, I froze. I have never froze before. I was like, I don't know what to do. And they get her on the lifeguard truck. And we as first responders, we know unfortunately she had passed away, clearly. But there was such a scene. There was so many other firefighters. The entire class watched their friend get dragged out of the water.
But then everybody, because of the helicopters, everybody just,
what's going on?
Everybody came down to look.
I think news cameras may have even been there by then. And I just remember hearing them say, just do CPR. And I was like, why? And then I didn't realize it's because
the
I
show.
don't want to say you're putting on a show, but it's really we were.
It gives comfort to the family.
It gives comfort to the family. It shows the kids that we were trying. We knew she had been dead for probably 35 plus minutes under that water, and they were still doing CPR on her. And then we threw her in the back of the ambulance. I didn't jump on. This was a full, all the paramedics jumped on.
That was all ALS.
They took off, full police escort to the hospital. And we knew she was dead, but we found out a few minutes later that they pronounced her at the hospital.
My brother was the detective that had to go to her parents' house.
Oh God, I can only.
So it was like my family was like so entwined in this. It was.
What happened to the teacher?
She ended up getting fired, but not charged.
Yeah,
I felt bad for her too.
Yeah, she didn't. She thought she was doing.
She was doing the right thing. She thought she was rewarding her kids, but it's just.